Although the threats from Hurricane Irene dominated the headlines headed into Southwick, it didn't stop the hardy fans of motocross from coming out to watch the best riders in the world do battle, and it didn't stop those riders from battling. Of course, Southwick was going to present its share of drama with or without Irene. There was heartbreak, there was triumph. Overall, it was one of the wildest days we've seen in this series in a long time, and the Racer X Motocross Show is here to give you the highlights. Next. Let's check out the highlights from round 10 of the Lucas Oil A-Maid Pro Motocross Championship, the Rockstar Energy Drink Southwick National. Local favorites, old and young, looking to play upset and spoiler to the championship favorites. Among them, Justin Barsha, who got a good start early, bumped Ryan Villopoto out of the way. Ryan Dungey takes advantage, gets the lead over his teammate, Brett Metcalf. So Suzuki's running 1-2. Here comes Barsha and Villopoto looking to track them down. These two went at it. Villopoto made a quick early pass on Barsha. Barsha tried to hang with him. Then Villopoto goes after Metcalf for the number 2 spot and eventually would get it. Then Barsha would pass Metcalf as well. But there was no catching the number 1 of Dungey. Took advantage of his early lead to pull out about 8 seconds on Villopoto, but Villopoto would not give up. Heartbreak then reigns. Barsha in 3rd, bike expires. Chad Reed in 4th, bike expires. Bad luck for them. Then Villopoto puts in a late race charge on Dungey, got the gap down to about 2 seconds, and the last lap, this race was close. But Dungey must have heard the number 2 coming. He turned the pace back up and holds on to take the first moto win over Villopoto and Metcalf. Forget everything you saw in the first moto for Moto 2. First, heavy rains for about 2 hours completely soaked the track, and your first moto winner is without a bike. Ryan Dungey's bike didn't show up to the line. Then they finally got it running after the gate dropped. And Dungey rushed down to the track with the field already gone. Justin Barsha in the lead nearly put Dungey a lap down right off the start. Justin Brayton in the number 2 spot, then Villopoto trying to control the overall, running in 3rd. But Metcalf was right behind him. And if Medi could make the move on Villopoto, he would move into the overall lead, and he did. Basically, Villopoto and Metcalf were looking at a tie in points, and the second moto tiebreaker would go to Metcalf. Although Villopoto certainly was riding with championship points on his mind, knowing that Reed was already out for Moto 1, and Dungey was way back in Moto 2. Metcalf wasn't done. He went after Brayton just to put a little bit of icing on the cake. He would eventually take over the number 2 spot, but the JGR Toyota Muscle Milk Yamaha rider ran strong in 3rd for the rest of the race. As for Dungey, Barsha was never able to lap him. Dungey worked his way all the way up to 7th by the end of the moto to salvage a whole bunch of points. Some of that overshadowing the great ride by Barsha to win in just his 4th ever 450 moto. And had his bike not have broken while running 3rd in the first race, he could have won the overall. But no one knows coulda, shoulda, woulda like Metcalf, who had a moto ripped from his grasp last year. He takes the overall win.
I didn't want to get all riled up and because my bike might have showed up, you know, and I got to focus on racing. But once they left, I kind of lost it, you know. I won't lie, you know. I was pissed, and I saw him come over the hill, and let's go, you know. I had to switch flip the switch and go out there and ride and just try to pick as many guys off as I could. I really didn't know where I was going to be. I just knew that we lapped up to 9th the first moto, and I figured, all right, if I can just not get lapped. I know Barsha was right behind me, not far. I saw early in the race. I was like, man, I can't get lapped. You know, I need to keep moving forward. And I ended up getting a little bit away from him and just picking guys off. And the last few laps, I got quite a few guys, which ended up working out well. And shoot, I don't know, man. It's a crazy day. It's just I never would have expected you could start behind, and you know, and with the rain, and it was just a lot going on. So a lot to process, but a lot to take from it, and just very thankful moving forward.
Let's move to the 250 class. We all know that Dean Wilson's coming in here with a big points lead and some momentum. Would the drama of Southwick strike him? Certainly his championship contenders. We're hoping so. Early on, they shuffle around, and Gareth Swanepoel is going to grab the whole shot, knifing inside of Lance Vincent. Tyler Rattray soon takes over the number 2 spot. Rattray, remember, won this race last year, very comfortable on the sand. There is Wilson running 4th. Blake Baggett, nowhere to be seen. Then Rattray puts the pressure on his fellow South African Swanepoel and takes over the number 1 spot. And you figured that his 28 was going to handle it from there. But no, Swanepoel actually settled down, kept close, and then when Rattray ran into some bike problems, couldn't get the bike moving there, he would take the lead back. Then it was Wilson and Rattray all over Swanepoel momentarily, but the DNA shredded sticks, Star Racing Yamaha rider, actually pulled away from there and held on. With this win, would be the first non-Kawasaki rider to win a moto this year. It's also the first career moto victory for Swanepoel in the U.S., and first ever moto victory for his team. On to moto number 2. Wilson's got a good start early, but grabbing the whole shot here, the 1110 Mods Honda rider, Alex Martin. And then he would take off. The privateer kid had to feel comfortable in the sand. Remember, he's from Millville, Minnesota, and look at the gap he opened up. Good 5-6 seconds early on Rattray and Wilson. Would there be another upset special in the making? Well, not with Rattray in the field. You know he's going to be strong in the sand. And after a few laps, he settled down. Said he made some bike changes between Moto 1 and 2. They paid off. He got the lead, and this time he would not give it up. As for Martin, little mistake here cost him a bunch of time on Wilson. And then eventually the number 15 rider closed to his rear fender. But look, Wilson starting to have some bike troubles. We all know some of the problems that that Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki team has had at this track. They told Wilson to back his pace down. Justin Bogle was in 4th and closing in on both of them toward the end of the moto. Great ride as the rookie was 18th in Moto 1, bounced back strong in this one. Rattray's going to hold on, go 2-1 to take the overall. Wilson's bike holds on, he finishes 2nd, and Martin rounds out the podium in the moto. Swanepoel had a crash in this one, but he does take 3rd overall. Good job by all these folks. Rattray's out of the points chase, but he's got to be happy to get another overall victory.
I overcooked my back brake a little bit, and I was struggling, and you know, he got past me, and I managed to pick up on some of his lines, and then I held him you know, pretty honest, and then I'm not quite sure if he made a mistake or if something happened with his bike, but he was bogged down for a little bit, and I got past him, and then I thought it was Wilson who was behind me for most of the time, and then, you know, I saw the pit board you know, show Rattray's behind me, and I said, I'm not going to let him beat me today, that's for sure, and I managed to hold him off, so that was fun. I mean, we train a lot together during the week, so you know, it was really fun to race together.
Just when I passed him, I get on the pit board, you know, like, relax, like, save your bike. Every lap the bike said, or the pit board said, save your bike, and I was like, oh, are you kidding me right now? Because it was making some funny noises for a while, and so all the mechanics around the track were just like, smart, like, just don't rev it. So, you know, I just kept it really low RPM and just milked it for like a good 6 laps and still managed to pull off. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking, but we made it happen, so it was good.
Obviously took some time off after Unadilla, which I did have a bit of a headache on Sunday morning when I woke up. So I just took some time off and let my head relax a bit, and still did some training, cycling and running and everything. And obviously coming into this race, I knew it was going to go my way. You know, it's I've been in the sand so much. I know how to ride, save the bike, and obviously keep good momentum up. And just happy to come away with the overall again. You know, it's this is my 2nd overall year at Southwick, and obviously a good weekend with my daughter's 1st birthday tomorrow, and Daddy wins again, so it's cool.
And the WMX class was back in action after about a month off. Upset in the making here. Jessica Patterson crashes out of Moto 1. Going to lose a lot of points here. Ashley Fialik extends her lead with a Moto 1 victory. Patterson comes back to win Moto 2, but Fialik finishes 2nd. She's looking good for another championship. All right, I'm going to say this about 5 times just to make them feel even better. We have our race winner, our race winner, our race winner, our winner of the race, our race winner, Brett Metcalf here from Southwick. You've won the race.
I won the race. I won the race. I won the race.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how good does that feel?
It feels
Is it
awesome.
even realistic yet? Is it sunk in?
You know, it's I haven't won in 8 years, so I'm like, man, I wonder how it feels. I wonder how that feels. That guy's winning, man. He looks happy.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. But you know, it's a race win, and it's great for me.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'm made of gold. Still feel me.
Okay, good. Okay, so no changes.
No changes. No major changes.
Now, what's strange is I know you probably put pressure on yourself to do well here because normally it's a good track for you. And at the end of Moto 1, you probably weren't feeling so good.
No, I was really, really disappointed. That's, man, I came back and should be happy with third A. It's okay. I was really, really, really disappointed. It's probably the worst moto I've ever rode here in Southwick.
Yeah.
Didn't feel comfortable. The practice, I had a bit of a get off in practice. Just wasn't in rhythm, fighting things. So just had to brush that one off, rip the tear off. And you know, really, Rockstar Makita Suzuki guys, the whole team, we sat down, had a discussion. They took over the bike and made some changes. We prepared for the mud. We had no problems with the mud. Bike ran like butter. It was unreal.
Second moto, you knew what was going on for the overall? You knew where you needed to be?
Yeah, I knew. Unfortunately, you know, Dunge had issue. Yeah. So I figured, well, he's not out there right now. So we got, and you know, the other two top guys, Chad Barsh, were out DNF first moto. So I knew, you know, RV was the target, and you know, we were together pretty close off the start, and was able to make a move, and I knew the overall was in my hands again.
No, that's the thing. You had to have that running through your mind because we know the bad luck last year.
Man, those last two laps of second moto, I was just like, come on, man, give me that, show me something, show me that white flag. And it's just started playing back, and when I'd get to those corners, I was listening to the bike, is it gonna bog? But man, the Suzuki brought it home. I was really, really stoked, and man, to pull it off, it felt great, felt huge.
And the thing is, if someone looks at the moto scores and sees 3-2, they'd be like, oh, it was a crazy day, but you needed to pass the series points leader to win the overall, and you did it. So they can't say you didn't earn that one. It didn't just fall in your lap. You had to go get it.
No, I felt like I earned it. And you know, you got to dig deep, man. Whenever you're passing the points leader, you know, they ain't no slouch. You know, so you got to go. You got to go and ride hard. And it wasn't a user-friendly track out there. It was pretty brutal. A lot of ruts. You could go down easy any moment, so you really had to pay attention to it. And I just had a good rhythm. And we were in sync, me and the bike, and off we went.
How brutal was the track? I mean, it's always rough, but the weather, factor that all in, what was it like?
It was tough. Just the sea was tough with the rain coming down. Your goggles are constantly, can't really see crap. And then we were lucky enough, they graded some of the sections that were bad, but they couldn't get to everything, you know, it was so muddy. So some of it was just big, deep ruts like this, and none of them were straight. Everything had a bit of a curve and a hook, and some rocks were popping up, and you just had to, about halfway point, we had a good race line that burnt in, and it was actually started to get some tackiness to it. So if you were in that line, it was clear sailing, but you couldn't get out of it.
My last thing is, you know, you came here pretty young. You didn't have a time to win GPs before you came over, anything like that. Where were you in your career before you came here? I mean, you jumped into the deep end. Did you win a bunch of races before you came here, or has it been an even longer drought than we might even know?
It's been a while since I've clearly won a race. It's been a long time. You know, in Australia, when I was coming through, I won some races early on when I first moved into pro, but I never got a full season. I got hurt.
I see.
But I won races. I was good enough. I wanted to get out of there. I went to the GPs, was doing well in the first four, got hurt, missed the season. Came here, had some great races, got hurt, and it was just like, man, I'm good, but then I'm back here and moving forward. So it's been a constant progression for me, and you know, I think the old, you know, maturity level starts to kick in a little bit as you get older. You start to learn what you need to do and what not to do, and I'm at that point now where we're starting to put some things together.
All right, he did. He's a race winner, and who knows? We got two more for the year's up.
Say that 5 more times again.
Yeah. Hey, does that sound good?
Yeah, it sounds good.
He won the race. He's the race winner. He won the race. He's the race winner. He won the race. Race winner. Brett Metcalf, Rockstar Makita Suzuki. We got 2 more chances to do it again with 2 rounds to go. We'll see him and you at the Still City next week. So join us at allysports.com. Thanks for watching.